There's Karen. Rachel, may I? Oh, there's two Rachels. Double trouble.
Hey, I can see myself and I can see you. It's all coming together.
I mean, and we love it when you multiply. There's now you can like sort of hum with yourself in sort of some sort of like harmony.
How many of me are there? I can only see one of me.
I see two of you.
How
Oh, now there's
annoying.
one. Now there's
Oh, good.
one.
Okay. Okay. How very strange. How's it all going?
Very good. Julie's going to be hosting you this session, so that's ever so nice.
Lovely.
She wanted you. I was like, but I want Rachel. And she's like, no, I want her more.
No. I feel so flattered you had a Rachel competition. So,
That means
will I be seeing you the whole time, Julie? Um,
Yeah, I will be here.
Great. Okay. I might need to demo some stuff on you because I can't see participants doing stuff. So, if you
on
could just
that,
play along with me.
what we can do as well is if there's any participants in the room who want to be seen, we can invite them to be seen just like us, which is
Okay.
kind of nice because we know that you sort of like humans sometimes, Rachel.
I
So,
love humans. I love a human, me. So if you
yeah,
could, hi Joe, hi Royson, hi Yolanda. Oh, Yolanda is the tech host here.
there's a million
So
tech
if
hosts. We all
anyone
want
wants to volunteer, hi Yolanda.
I'm in the background. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Yolanda, if you want to collect a few people to be seen, I think that would really help this session. So maybe 4 or 5.
Sure thing.
And if you could manage muting if need be. Hi, Royson. Oh, it's so nice to see some people. Oh,
Roisin is the conference like charity manager or something like that, I think, for anyone who doesn't know her. So that's ever so lovely.
meet you. I'm Adeja. Hey, where are you coming in from? Zooming in from?
Or BJing in from these days, I guess.
Yeah, where are you blue jeans in from? Lavinia, lovely. Angled myself so I don't get direct sunlight, but mostly after about the first 5 or 10 minutes, you're not going to be looking at me anyway. You're going to be in your own experience, hopefully. So those of you that are here, I'll repeat this again when we officially start in 2 minutes. But for those of you that are here, if you could organise a little nest for yourself somewhere in the lounge room where you are, or a bedroom, or wherever you find yourself, you need to be comfortable on the ground. So we're not going to be doing that immediately, but about 10, 15 minutes in, we're going to come to the ground. So you might want a yoga mat or a blanket or some cushions or whatever you need to feel like the ground is a hospitable place to hold you. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice place to run sessions because you can see the background. Medeja said, I love the view. So how many, there's a break now, people coming in kind of now-ish. Is that the idea, Steve?
Yeah, people have to get between stages. And there's like 4 different places people are watching from: Blue Jeans and browsers, Blue Jeans on the app, the Facebook live stream, or Facebook live stream in the portal. So I have no idea how many people are really watching us. But there's humans here. I can see some. I'm sure that they're not fake.
I can see some humans. Yeah, this is enough humans too.
You're the expert on the Matrix, so you might know. But I'll shut up because Julie's hosting you and we're just about time.
Yeah, shut up, Steve. Come on. Julie's hosting.
Okay, and host I will. Oh, welcome everyone to one more session in our self-care weekend. Are you still here, Rachel? Suddenly I lost everybody.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
You suddenly become the speaker, that's why.
Wonderful. Welcome everybody to another session at our self-care weekend, and I'm absolutely delighted to introduce Rachel Blackman, who is an actress, somatic educator, body worker, and artistic director of Still Point Theatre, and as we have discovered, a great lover of human beings. And today she's bringing to you a session called Using the Voice as Medicine for Self-Soothing and Nonverbal Connection. Welcome, Rachel. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you very much, Julie. What a lovely introduction. Lovely to see some of you, and those who I can't see, I'm trusting you're hearing my voice and seeing me. In this session, I was very curious to bring some of the tools I've stumbled across over the years working with the voice, both as an actor and a therapist. It's interesting, some of these tools have been adopted by trauma therapy and lots of other therapy modalities. It turns out that we have a lot of medicine inside our bodies by virtue of being biological and alive that we can harness to help us come to quiet. And in my experience, and it's borne out in a lot of clients' experience too, if we can bring our nervous system down to a place of quietness, not to a place of collapse, but to a place of quiet, vibrant quietness, then we're much better able to hear ourselves and feel ourselves. So notice just that invitation. So bringing ourselves down to a place of vibrant quietness. And if we can do that, then we're much more likely to be able to feel ourselves and notice subtle differences in how we're being. And you notice I changed my voice and I changed my rhythm in order to help us all arrive in that place together. So there's lots of ways in which the voice can be used as medicine, and today I'm going to be focusing on a very simple tool. It's basically humming, but we're going to approach it. I'm going to approach it using two frames. So the first frame is the discovery of Moshe Feldenkrais in the Feldenkrais method was that if we can bring ourselves to a vibrant, quiet place, then we can be really discern much more sensitively subtle differences in how we're being. That's one piece. And the other piece comes from my acting training, which is all about learning. We spend 3 years learning lots of things, but one of the things we're learning in our acting training is about how to make the whole being a resonator. So the voice as a tool in our instrument, which is our body, how do we create maximum resonance in our being in order for our voice to transmit meaning and emotion and connection and all of these things, right? So that's kind of part of our study as actors. So in this session, I wanted to bring a couple of these ideas together into a practice that we could do that's very simple, that you can do before bed to take you into a lovely place of rich, deep sleep. We're going to have, I'm going to take you through a pathway into the experience, and in about 5-10 minutes time, I'll have you lying somewhere cozy on your back or wherever you find yourself. I want you to be in contact with the floor in a way that feels self-supporting. So whether that's blankets and cushions, whatever you need, feel self-supporting on the floor. You might want to go and sort that out for yourself now whilst I'm talking. And this will be an experiential session. So the invitation is for you to explore for yourself and see for yourself whether it helps things in you whether it helps your being come to a quiet vibrancy. I say vibrancy because it's not collapse. Collapse can feel like quietness. And so it's a specific quality of quietness that I'm interested. Yeah, you can totally lay down on a bed, Jessica. Yeah. Yeah, great. So come and semi-recline whilst I go through the first exploration. And then in a moment, I'll ask you to, a little bit further in, you'll be invited to close your eyes if you feel like you'd like to. This session's all about following pleasure and enjoyment. Okay, so one of the things we learned in drama school was that vowel sounds have their own inherent kind of anatomy. So the shape of a vowel sound has a quality that is suggested through our whole being. So when I use the vowel sound ah, there's a natural openness, right? Ah, a maximum openness. Ah, it's the most open vowel sound. Ah, and play around with it. Make the noise yourself. Ah, you can feel. And if you were to make a shape with your body that mirrored that shape, how would you, like, what would a version of it be? Just from lying down or sitting wherever you are. Ah, kind of makes you want to open your fingers and open your eyes and open your toes. Everything opens. Ah, it's the most opening vowel sound. And now let's try a vowel sound that is wide. So the vowel sound E, E. So it goes out like this E. It's flat and out. Yeah, can you feel that in your physicality? Can you feel that kinesthetic feeling of out and wide? E, flat, wide, E. And make a version of the shape that's suggested by that sound just whilst you're lying there or sitting there. I get a really clear picture in my mind of like a line going out. Okay, and let that go. And what would a vowel sound be that might be the most closed, or like the most private vowel sound you can make before your lips close and it no longer becomes a vowel sound? What might that be? Play around with that. It's kind of the sound like lots and lots of U's, little U's. Ooh. So the lips are quite close together. Yeah, ooh, that's right, Royson. So back in the throat. So it's a sound, it's a vowel sound. The hint will be that it's a vowel sound that's inward, back and down in the palate, back in the throat, and down in the lips. Ooh. And it's interesting because there's also, with the ooh sound, there's also a kind of forwardness in the lips, even though there's a back and down in the ooh, yeah? So another fairly closed vowel sound is the sound oh, because there's not a forwardness in the lips. So it's inward, back and down in the palate, oh, and then it moves into oh, and then eventually into. So have a play with that. I'm just doing it on my own without any sound feedback from you guys, but have a little play of oh until eventually your lips close. Do a couple of those. Just do 3 of those in your own time. Oh. You can feel the E in the upper pelvis here. Interesting. Great. And let that go. So these sounds, you might recognize part of this sound from anyone who's done any yoga or some chanting in more dynamic sitting meditations. This sound om, ah, from an open vowel sound like ah to om. Yeah. This is the second half. What we're going to be working with is the second half of that sound. And the somatics of the second half of that sound go from inward, back and down to closed and flat, and eventually the lips vibrating with the hum. And another invitation just to add for safety, really, because if we're taking breaths that are too deep in whilst we're doing this, then we can trip off into hyperventilation. So take a rest whenever you need. You don't need to do it all the time. In the exercise we're going to be doing, do it as much as you'd like to. Follow the exploration as much as you're interested. That's a big part of self-care, in my experience, is doing it as much as I really want to and stopping when I need a rest. Okay, so that's the form. That's what we're going to be working with. And I'm going to add one more little bit of information for you to introduce where we're going to go next. So if you take your left or right hand and place it on the sternum here, the breastbone. Yeah. And if it feels okay to close your eyes. Doing it with my pal under blankets. Your friend. That sounds nice. Great. Okay, so we're going to make this sound and make the mouth and the throat, the back of the tongue in the back of the throat, everything, the neck, everything as soft as possible. You don't have to force a shape with the mouth. You can just let the sound ha, like ha, ha, yeah? You don't have to be technical with the mouth. Just let the thoughts of how you're doing it go and just focus on the vibration. And now where you're going to be focusing your attention is the place underneath the palm that's connecting to the breastbone. And you're aiming with your hum to make this hand vibrate with your hum. And it should be fairly easy where the chest is. So in your own time, taking a gentle breath in and exhaling on the no need to go all the way to the exhale, the end of the exhale. Just stop when you want to. And again, and just repeat that. So starting with that, and I'm going to be talking you through a somatic meditation now using these tools that allows us to follow the vibration throughout our whole body. This is a beautiful thing to do before bed. Okay. And so taking a breath in, if you're not already doing it, feeling the hand on the sternum or the breastbone, deep breath in and oh. Oh. And can you notice, keep going. Can you notice the vibration under your hand? It should be fairly easy with the chest because most people have access to that place of resonance in the body. And now let your hand go and notice where else you could place the hum. Let's try the forehead. So on the next oh. Can you get a sense that the hand is vibrating under with the hand placed on the forehead, or even without touching? Could you do it without touching maybe? But continue the sound. Let's continue the sound. We're going to be continuing the sound for the next 15 minutes. Oh. Letting the vibration fill into the place behind the eye sockets and all around the eyes. Like this sense of the frequency of the vibration melting all the tension away. Oh. And you can play with the pitch if you like. You could try taking a little higher or a little deeper in pitch. You can play with volume. You can make it quiet and subtle or louder and more vigorous, but play around until you're satisfied that you can really feel the vibration in your head, in the top of the skull. The skull is a place, and the jaw actually are places where the really powerful pieces of how we are heard. They're powerful resonators. How about the belly? Could you place the hand belly? And is it possible to get a sense of the hum happening down in your belly? And now placing the hand on one of your hip bones, or the place, actually the iliac crest technically, but one of those pointy bones that juts forward at the front of you. You just place one fingertip there, doesn't have to be both, and let the hand rest and see if you can get a sense of that, the pelvis vibrating. And if the bone doesn't work for you, maybe try a hand in the hara or the lower dantian or just above the pubic bone. You're not being seen. If you're not being seen, you might try placing your hand on the pubic bone and see if you can get that to vibrate with the hum. Oh. If any area that you're touching feels a little too sensitive to receive the hum, just choose a place where it feels more comfortable. We're not trying to push ourselves into therapy here. It's just relaxing. Oh. There's a real invitation to soften the sexual center, soften around your butt cheeks and your all these areas that hold a lot of information as we're walking and standing and being a world. Let your hands go and let them be long by your sides. And bring yourself a little more in contact with the floor if you can, if it means getting rid of a couple of cushions. See if you can make your head so that it's more or less in line with the spine if you were standing. And continue the hum the whole time. Oh. If you like, if you prefer, you can bring your feet to standing, or you can have your legs long, whichever you prefer, whatever's more comfortable and relaxing for you. Oh. can you get a sense that the back of the pelvis is vibrating with your hum? Can you get a sense that wherever you choose to place your attention now, you can choose, you're a ninja, you're a hum ninja. You can send your hum wherever you like. You can just make a choice and send it there. That's how elastic you are in your quality of attention and your resonance as a biological being, sending the attention down into the deep part of the pelvis where it's connecting with the floor. See if you can feel it humming. Letting anything go that needs to let go, anything that's stopping you being held by the floor. Use the hum to let it go. Just a bit more surrender to gravity. And can you direct the hum to your thighs and maybe down into your knees? Maybe you need to change the pitch of the hum in order to get that sense that it's reaching your knees. And with this work, I'd say rough it in. If you're not sure if you're doing it right, that's totally okay. Just play around with the idea of it. Just play around, muck around with the idea of it. Oh. Think knees. Even getting the image of the knees in your mind's eye will help the motor cortex send the vibration down there, because that's the way the motor cortex works. And eventually, through thinking the hum down there, it'll naturally start to arrive there like magic. And now, can you think the hum all the way down to where the heels are meeting the ground, where the heels are making contact with the ground? Can you think the hum all the way down there? Oh. And what about the soles of your feet and the toes? And you play the game of imagining you're making the toes vibrate with a hum. And in playing the game of it and imagining it, maybe it becomes a bit more possible. So playing around with that idea. At first it seems fanciful or impossible, and then before you know it, there it is. There's that sense of the feet and the toes vibrating with the hum. Great. And what about the arms? Let's not forget the arms. Can you send the vibration of the hum up into the shoulders? This is a place that we hold a lot of tension in our lives often, so in the day-to-day. So there's a lovely invitation to send the frequency of the hum into these shoulders, send the vibration into the shoulders, and invite the shoulders to find a little bit more ease in their relationship with gravity and the ground. And even just thinking it starts to make it happen. So enjoy that feeling of the hum talking to the shoulder blades. And every now and again you might find you want to take a lovely deep breath Mm. And taking the hum down. Seeing if you can feel your, thinking of the skeleton as a channel for the hum. A skeleton transmitting the vibration all the way down, forearms to those delicate bones in the head. And not just the skeleton, but all the tissue vibrating with this life you're sending it. And if you find yourself drifting off to sleep, and I'm just coming in and out of being intermittently with your attention, that's absolutely fine. So you can let yourself go. Trust yourself to find your way back at the end of the session if you choose. Can you find the hum in the very delicate tips of your fingers? And now resting for the last 2 minutes in this place of vibrant quietness where everything is alive and quiet at the same time. Deep, available to the ground, and easy. And enjoy the bath like a nervous system bath. Mm. Mm. Okay. And there's an invitation now, if you'd like to continue with the session and take it in a slightly different direction, to let your fingers and toes wriggle and roll to one side and come to sitting. And if you'd like to stay there and drift off to sleep, or let yourself go where your body wants to take you, then you're welcome to do that. But if you'd like to join the next stage of the inquiry, Then roll to one side. Move the muscles in your face to wake you up a little bit. Roll to one side and come to sitting or kneeling. To be, please don't open your eyes just yet, or if you must open your eyes, please open your peripheral vision so you can keep your gaze soft. So rather than looking at the screen just for now, look at the environment around you. Take in the environment around you. Let your eyes dance around the space you're in. Notice that this quality of vibrant quietness is still alive inside you. It's as if you're lending a little bit of this quality of vibrant quietness to your gaze as well, now that your lids are open. Okay. So the next stage of this inquiry is about how we might be able to use a tool like this to bring us into non-verbal connection. So, Julie, is it possible to have a couple of participants that are visible? Maybe if we could have a couple of people nominate themselves to come forward. Steve Roizen. Hi, Roizen. I can only see Roizen. Have we got anyone else?
Okay, let's see. Steve, would you be able to help out with that?
I can see Madeja.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Steve. Just one or two more people who are happy to join, and so we can get a sense of playing with social connection for a moment.
Heidi's also, I don't know if you wanted to be part of it.
Steve, I can't hear you.
Heidi's also in the room, so I don't know if she wants to be part of it as well.
Great. I can't see Heidi, but that would be lovely if Heidi wants to join. I don't know how to change what I'm doing to see her.
Yeah, and Kathy is joining the room as well.
Great. That'll do. That'll be nice. So I can see 4 people. I can see Steve, Julie, Roizen and Madeja. Well, just because of the time, I'll start with who we've got here. Oh, here we go. There's Yolanda. Hi. So there's a thing that starts to hi, Heidi. Hi. I can see Heidi. So there's a thing that starts to happen in internet connection that becomes focused. We get in this focused problem-solving form of consciousness, which is an alert, problem-solving, activated form of visual connection with people. Hi, Kim. Thanks for joining.
Oh.
Hi. So this is a really lovely thing to do with a group of people. I'm doing a year-long training about anti-racism, somatic abolitionism, it's called, with Karine Bell, who some of you might know, who did the trauma conference recently. And we have a practice where every month when we meet, we do a humming together. And it's something I've been teaching, but from another point of view, for years in my classes. And I was so delighted to see it starting to be used in a more with a different application, but a similar effect, right? To sort of bring us to quiet, to bring us to a sense of togetherness. And so that's what we're going to use it for today. So we're going to use the same sound that we were working with. I'm going to invite you with hi, Kathy, welcome. Going to invite, hi, Peter, welcome. Going to invite you to put your hand on your breastbone here, your sternum. Pay attention for a moment to where your bum is meeting the ground. Pay attention for a moment to where your feet are meeting the floor, or your knees if you're kneeling. And let your attention dance around the screen and see who's there. Take a moment in the gaze to lightly touch on everybody. Yeah. And then in a moment, we're going to go back to this hum sound. We're not going to be able to hear each other because of the technology, but the felt sense of it will be alive in each of our bodies. I guarantee we'll all feel a sense of it. So with the eyes in this half closed, a bit like we've had a joint or something. Of course, I don't know what that's like. But if we half close our eyes so that you can keep the periphery, we're all in soft focus. And we're going to do a couple of minutes of humming together using this. So see if you can sync with me. Oh. Oh. Inviting you to join us from the participant group. If you are doing it, great. Please join in. Oh. Sense of imagining into the whole. Oh. Sense of your hum extending out. Oh. To meet and hold other people. Oh. And a sense of a smiling heart. The smiling heart that's carrying outward on the hum. Oh. Oh. Okay, great. And let that go. Before you focus back in on the screen, notice that more expanded sense now, that more inclusive sense that we have with the hum. And letting your gaze flutter open if your eyes are still closed, and take a moment to look at the other people on the screen who've been sharing this time with you. Notice this, I love this beautiful feeling of this aliveness behind the breastbone. Sense of quiet aliveness. Okay. And if you like, you're welcome to share. I'm trying to avoid the bright sunshine in my eyes, so I keep moving to the left. But if you like to share what your experience was, we've got a couple of minutes I can respond to questions. My first curiosity is what did you notice in your nervous system? What was the evidence? What was the evidence in the felt sense? What did you feel? Increased pleasure, lovely, yeah. It can move into sexuality or sensuality for sure. And just enjoyment, right? Simple enjoyment. Expansion, lovely. Deeper, yeah, the sound deepens as you go. Sometimes I just drift off to sleep before I finish. I try and do 20 minutes, and sometimes I drift off before I go to sleep. Satisfying sensations, great. Yeah. Well, yeah, it is an These universal sounds, right? Lovely. So we don't have to use Zoom as an excuse to not be able to access this state in the nervous system. We can still find it without needing to fall into this trap of being on automatic pilot with Zoom. Fell asleep, beautiful, Pilar. That's the way. That's the business we're in, right? Great, lovely. And now my final question, just in the last 5 minutes, if you could put it into the chat, is it's kind of about application. So this is a webinar that's about self-care practices. So with the frame or the umbrella of self-care, what little bits could you take of this and put in your life somewhere? Like, where might this be able to be plopped into your life? Is it just before bed? Is it before you need to do a slightly stressful? I do it before I go on stage sometimes. It just brings me to a sort of, there's a combination of quietness and aliveness that's quite useful. When might you be able to plop a tiny bit of this into your life? Park a tiny bit of it. Crisp air behind her chest. Nice. Just throw your response into the chat. And let's remove the word should from the equation. So just when it might be fun or might be nice or you'd like to give it a try, when might it? Yeah, lovely. Whenever I feel there's tension, yeah, great. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's a self-regulating tool. Right. Baths. Oh, in the bath, it's amazing because it amplifies the vibration in the water. It's really cool. Give it a go. Before class, before a meeting. Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, kids can do it. They've got a slightly shorter attention span than us, so you might only last a few minutes. Yeah, it also, yes, with COVID, this is also really lovely for flushing oxygen into the lungs. It's a good medicine for COVID. People who are recovering to rest, recharge in the middle of the day. Lovely. Yeah, lovely. Great. Plenty of ideas there. The stories, yeah, great. So there's the difficulty of doing a practice like this if you want to do it just before bed, if you like, with a partner or something. Like, I hardly do it anymore because I've got a husband. so I do it if I'm on a retreat or, and sometimes it's really nice to do. I teach Feldenkrais a week, and sometimes I do a little 5 minutes of this just to get me in a place, get me in the right frame to be holding space for people in a place where I'm inviting them into a quietness. It's a really nice tool as well if you're a yoga teacher or you're some kind of somatic teacher. My authentic self to be vibrant. Lovely. And after this, if you go and speak to someone, I'm sure you'll find that your voice, oh my God, your voice is coming from so many more places inside you. And that's exciting. Great. So take whatever you need from that to use in your life. Another person I thought of another person I need to honour with this work, which is Wayne Dyer. He works with this as part of the yin part of a creation manifestation meditation. So in the morning he works with the sound ah, and in the evening he works with the sound om. Yeah, and they're ancient sounds. No one owns them. I don't own them. Wayne Dyer doesn't own them. But I'm applying this in a somatic lens, because for me that's where I find I have the most resonance. So yeah, you could use it in your phonetics class, of course. Yeah. Great. Okay, is everyone feeling not totally wiped out for the next session? Useful? Is that useful? Great. Okay, cool. So it's just coming up to 5:45, so I'm going to hand you back over to Julie. Is that right? Is that what I do, Julie?
Thank you so much, Rachel. To be honest, we still have 5 minutes before we close. So perhaps if there are some questions, you are welcome to put them in the chat, in the Q&A section, and we can read these out to Rachel.
Right.
They can also be words of gratitude to Rachel.
Lovely. Yeah.
I'm definitely taking away this idea of vibrant stillness. I think that's really beautiful.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for all your beautiful comments.
And while you're thinking about questions, perhaps, or while you're processing this, taking it all in, I would like to post several links in the chat about the upcoming Embodiment Conference that's going to take place from the 14th to the 25th of October. Wow, that all of that text is jammed together. Yeah, so we are looking forward to bringing you more of sessions like these, and Rachel is also going to be part of the Embodiment Conference in October. There are going to be 100 speakers in 10 different channels, different themed channels, which will be organized very neatly into an online system that will allow you to find sessions that are really the thing that you are looking for, things that suit your needs. So please do sign up if you haven't yet. You're very welcome to join the Facebook group as well. We're posting things from presenters there as well, so you can get acquainted with what's coming up. There are some embodiment circles happening, which is a great way to connect with other people who are interested in embodiment and who want to continue this practice and deepen their practice. And if you tell a friend about the conference, this really helps us out. Most of all, we are interested in getting the word out, making embodiment really accessible to people all around the world. So, and we're still looking for presenters. So if you know a great presenter, or you are a great presenter, please do apply as well. Rachel, I see. Yeah.
I just thought it might be useful for people to know how they can find me elsewhere.
Yeah.
Is that of interest to people?
Absolutely.
Oh, I did answer it. Good. So I run Feldenkrais classes every Monday morning that's at 10:30 a.m. British summertime. Obviously that changes in October. I've just got a link here that I'm putting on the chat, and I've got a course actually that's going to be launching soon, a little 6-week course where I'm taking people live through these somatic meditations. So we're looking at the medicine of the voice, the medicine of darkness, the medicine of movement. We're looking at all these biological functions that we can harness to help us be in quiet vibrancy. And I find that if I can take people through it live, then there's a really rich chance for sharing afterwards. It's very different to just being on your own and having the audio in your ear. I do post some of my somatic meditations on my website, but there's something quite beautiful about being able to go into the richness with a group of people and share that. So that's coming up in November. It's a 6-week thing, and it's in November. And if you want to, let me just put my contact page up in case you want to give me your emails. There you go. Links on the fly there. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
So, yeah, this is wonderful. Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you to all of you who have been tuning in here and on Facebook and wherever. We are going to be starting the next session in just a minute or so. I believe the room is already open. And our next presenter is going to be Valerie Mason-John, who is a trauma and addiction specialist.
She's great.
And she's bringing us a session called Cultivating the 5 Basic Needs of the Heart, a Compassionate Dialogue with the Self.
Oh, it sounds so beautiful. Sounds so beautiful. Yeah.
So I'm inviting you there. And Rachel, thank you so very much.
You're so welcome. Thanks for hosting me, Julie. Thanks for coming. Thanks for those people who stepped forward to play. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.